Hi everyone, welcome to Xinhua Live. I'm Yago with Xinhua News Agency, giving you live broadcasting from Jinan, the capital city of East China's Shandong province. So what we have right now is not only a celebration of the New Year 2018, but also we are embracing the coldest days of this winter. So I know that in China, in a lot of provinces in southern China, we have heavy snows hits a lot of provinces, and we have accumulated snows on all the kinds of roads, the ordinary, the pedestrian road, the cycling road, and also we have the accumulated snows on highway, expressway roads. And also, I learned from the internet that we also have a very malevolent cyclone called the Bond Cyclone Snowstorm, and this kind of snowstorm is battering United States of America, and especially it is battering cities like New York and Washington. Like, it seems like the whole world is, snowing. So what we're gonna do if we have a snow? We want to go out, we want to hang out with the friends, so we're going to drive cars. But what can we do if we have so many snows accumulated on the roads? So we're not going to have a safe journey on the way, right? So today I'm going to show you the newly developed and built China's first, and I think this is the world's first solar expressway, and this is in Jinan's Ring Road. So follow our camera, we can see that this road really looks like glass. It's not really glass, but it's actually it's a concrete, but it looks like glass. So follow the camera to have a detailed closer look of this road. I'm going to give you more information about this newly established solar expressway. And let's go. So this solar expressway road that we have following camera, we can see the solar panels. They are laid beneath part of a ring road surrounding Jinan, the capital city of Shandong province in East China. And the road surface is made of as we can see, made of a transparent, weight-bearing material that allows sunlight to penetrate. And this road, actually this expressway, has opened to the public in December last year. That's in 2017. And this newly built photovoltaic panels, which look like pieces of glass, it paved Jinan City Ring Expressway, and it holds middle-sized vans with very strong friction. In the southern section of Jinan's urban beltway, the workers have paved the photovoltaic road and placed solar power batteries under the white grids. And this panel's covering 5,875 square meters. It can generate 1 million kilowatt per hour of power in a year, and enough to meet the everyday demand of around 800 households. And the output, as I've learned, is 120 to 160 watts per square meter. And imagine if we replace every 2 lanes in a road with solar panels, and it will generate 7.2 trillion kilowatt per hour of power per year, and reduce around 7 billion tons of greenhouse gas every year. So this is a lot of greenhouse gases reduced. And China leads the world in solar power development, and its annual increase of new installed generation capacity has been the largest in the world since 2013. And as of the end of September, China's installed photovoltaic capacity hit 120 gigawatts. Okay, so this is my first time to witness this kind of solar expressway myself, and I'm very curious, how it touches like, how it feels like. Well, it looks like glass, transparent glass, so I'm going to touch this with my fingers to see. Well, actually it feels quite rough, because we can see all these little, things, these little articles on the surface of this glass. So it's not that slippery as we may have imagined. Yes, and I think that may create enough strength and power to stop the vehicles if we have an emergency. So that's safe enough to have this newly kind of solar expressway. So don't worry about safety. And I hope if you have the chance to experience this, please feel free to come here to try it yourself. If you're a driver or if you're not a driver or something, you can just invite your friends and family to come here to drive on this kind of newly established solar expressway and feel and try to sense the feelings yourself to see how this is different or not so different from the ordinary asphalt road. Okay, so what is so special about this newly established solar expressway in Jinan City of East China's Shandong province? I am not a professional, I'm an amateur, so I don't really know much about this newly established solar expressway. I only knew that it has a lot of benefits. It's like a green energy or something, but to help our audience to get a clear picture of the whole thing, we're very glad to have a professional here to tell us more about this solar expressway. So we're very glad to have this technique here. 您贵姓？
我姓张。
So Miss Zhang is our professional here today. 想问问您，咱们这个高速公路是哪几部分构成？给我们大概讲一下它这个几层分别是。
好。光伏高速公路它其实最主要的就是一个光伏路面组件。光伏路面组件一共分为功能上来讲，一共分为3层。我这边正好给大家带了一个模型过来啊。
Okay, so我先给大家翻译一下。So I'm asking Miss Zhang about how is this newly established solar expressway made of? And Miss Zhang is very lucky to have Mr. Zhang here. She brings us 3 kinds of models here. It's like a miniature of this new real solar expressway. 所以您跟我们大概说一下。
好，从功能上来讲，它大概分了3层。第一层呢就是透光混凝土层，主要是光线可以通过这层直接照射到它的发电单元层上。当然，这层提供了足够的摩擦力、承载能力以及相关的其他的一些力学功能。然后这个呢就是发电层了。发电层其实就是我们的晶硅电池片，当然晶硅电池片大家可能都很了解，非常的脆弱，需要有全方位的保护。然后最下面的这层呢，就是一个绝缘防水层，它是跟路面直接接触的层面，主要是对我们的组件进行一定的支撑，同时让它完全处于一种绝缘和防水的这么一个状态当中。
Okay, so the first layer is this one. This is what we call the concrete layer. So this kind of concrete layer is like the glass that we've seen just now. It's like the rough glass. So what is it for? The first thing is that it's protecting the second layer. The second layer is called the amorphous silicon layer. So this second layer is very, very weak, so it's very easy to break. And the first layer helps to protect the second layer. And the second function of the first layer is that it can hold, the cars, the running vehicles on the road. So it can hold enough pressure. And the second layer is like what we call the solar battery. So this is, 所以第二层这个实际上就是吸收透光，然后把它转换成电能，是吧？
对。是的
Okay. So the second layer is actually transform the sunlight we see, and the sunlight will penetrate through the first layer and to the second layer. So the second layer is gonna absorb all the sunlight and transform the sunlight into electricity. And the third layer is the at the very bottom. So it helps to protect the second layer, but also as well to prevent the water to absorb into the second layer. 所以第三层这个等于也还是防水。
对对，绝缘防水。
So this second layer is also very important. 非常谢谢您给我们介绍这个3个不同的这个部分。另外，我看到咱们这个后面有一些，这个是发电箱吗？还是叫什么？
对，这个叫逆变器。
逆变器。那这个上面会有一些显示屏，它这个平时会有一些就是显示什么样的？
对，当这个正常电流输出的时候，它就会显示整个这个电量的一个峰值啊，其实就是它的功率。
功率。
对。
So behind us we have all these boxes, little boxes, mystery boxes here. So we have the screen, not today, but ordinarily we have the screen here, and the screen will show us how much electricity we have every day. 所以这个一个箱子能显示这个数据是管哪些？
大概是40片连起来，我们做了一个组串。对。
Okay, so every box will show how much electricity we have for about 40 pieces of the concrete like solar expressway here. Thank you very much. 非常谢谢你。
没关系，谢谢。好。
So we're going to have more coming up, so stay tuned and we'll find out what's going on next. some of our audience may wonder if this kind of expressway has opened to the public recently, that how are you going to able to do the live here? So I want to explain a little bit to our audience today. In order for us to have this Chinese live broadcasting today, we have asked help from the local police. So local police have blocked the part of this newly established solar expressway so that we can, our cameraman and me and our drivers and our cars can, just have a rest here. And that's why I'm going to stand here to give you the latest live broadcasting. So don't worry about my safety and don't worry about the, the safety of our working staff and something our technicians and sort of things like that. So this is why we can have this kind of latest live broadcasting. Yes. And also, I want to mention more. Our camera can give us a closer look of this glass here. So this is, we can see we have the white grids. So the white grids is made of like a little square. So this is actually not a whole pieces of solar batteries and not the whole pieces of these pieces of concrete, but it's made of the one piece by another piece. So that's why we have this like grids like this. So I think this is a little bit exciting to stand on this very latest inventions. Well, so we can see following our camera, we can see we have this sort of concrete, but it really looks like glass and it's transparent. So some of our audience may wonder if this kind of glass is too slippery for cars to drive on it. So in order to answer questions like this, we will have a driving test today, and to prove that this kind of solar expressway road is very safe for the drivers to drive on it. So let's go to find it out. So some of the audience may wonder, well, the surface looks like glass, so is it going to be very slippery or not? So to answer these questions, we're very glad to invite a driver here, and we're going to have a driving test to see how this kind of a solar expressway feels different from the ordinary asphalt road. So we're very glad to have a driver. 您贵姓？
我姓杜。
So Mr. Du is our driver today, and he's going to have a driving test for this kind of solar expressway road. 那您现在开一下，麻烦您，谢谢啊。So okay, so now we are driving, and as we can see, the speed is going up. Well, for me, as a well, I'm on this car and I don't really feel the difference between this kind of solar expressway and the ordinary asphalt road. But I don't know how Mr. Du will think about this. I'm going to ask him later. So behind us we can see there are a lot of cars passing us on the left side. Okay, and also we can see there are some of the cleaners doing the cleaning job for this new established solar expressway. Okay, and we're approaching the end of the solar expressway. Yes, and we're stopping now. Okay, we're speeding up again. Okay, now we're stopping. So I'm going to ask Mr. Du how he feels about this newly established solar expressway. How is it different from the ordinary asphalt road? 所以杜老师，您觉得想问您，您开这个车大概多长时间了？
我有10年的驾龄了。
10年了。So Mr. Du has drive for about 10 years. 那您觉得这个您今天开这个新的这种光伏的路，跟觉得普通的柏油马路有什么区别吗？
我觉得感受2点，就是第一个是这个咱这个跑起来的太燥，声音比较小，还有一个就是刹车的这个回馈感，包括刹车距离这一块儿舒适性比较好。
您给我，因为我不是专业的，你给我讲胎噪大概是什么意思？就是声音小是吗？
对，声音对，噪声小一些，就是比较沥青马路的话，要声音要好一些。可能对这个轮胎的磨损可能也会减少一些。对。
Okay. So I've asked Mr. Du how he feels. What's the difference between these two kinds of roads? So the first point he mentioned is that the noises are much smaller for this newly established solar expressway road. So it's very strange because we can see this is like a very rough glass, but how can it feel different? So Mr. Du told me that what does it mean for if we have smaller noises for this newly established road? It means that the tires of our cars are going to be less destroyed than the ordinary asphalt road. And the second point Mr. Du mentioned is that about the when we have the brakes, then we can see that if we have an emergency happened, and if we are running on solar expressways like this, we're going to avoid such accidents happen. 非常感谢您。那您感觉就是踩的这个路面觉得滑吗？就是这个在刹车的过程中。
刹车过程中和沥青比的话，它是正常刹车的情况下，它的制动效果要偏舒适一些。
反而是更舒适一些。
对，更舒适一些，然后让驾驶感受更好一些，滤震效果会好一些。
滤震效果大概是什么？
滤震效果就是在这个轮胎和这个地面接触，比如说有些起伏的路面的时候，沥青路上的起伏路的时候，或给这个给驾驶员的回馈感受会稍微大一点，然后这个是感觉比较平滑，然后这个磨损减少之后，它这个就会比较舒适了，开起来。我觉得，长时间开的话，可能对油耗还有所降低。对。
好，谢谢您。So I also asked Mr. Du if it feels slippery on this kind of solar expressway road, and he answered that he feels rather more comfortable than running on the ordinary asphalt road. And he thinks that perhaps if you're running on a long way, if we're having a longer journey, then perhaps solar expressways like this will make the driver feel more comfortable, because if we have all this, experiencing all these ups and downs on the road, then if we have the solar expressway instead of the asphalt expressway, then it will feel much, like going up and down like the roller coaster. So that's how Mr. Du thinks. So thank you very much, Mr. Du, for having this driving test today. 非常感谢您。
不客气。
Okay. So by now, this kind of solar expressway can only, release the agents, the chemicals to melt the snows, and also to give enough electricity for the lights, for the, like the signs, the road signs, and etc., surveillance cameras, and etc. But in the future, this kind of road is going to have more good functions, such as it can help to create enough technical support for unmanned vehicles. So unmanned vehicles is a kind of tendency in the future. We're not going to have the real human drivers in the future. And also, we're going to have the free Wi-Fi charge for our vehicles. So the more and more vehicles, not only in China, but all around the world, is having some kind of vehicles not use oil, but use electricity, right? So what if our cars are running out of charge on the way? We're going to go to a place to have fun, but on the way, then, sadly, the cars won't run. Then what will we do then? So with such kind of solar expressway, one day we will be able to drive our cars and charge the cars on the go. So how do you feel about this, the first solar expressway built in Jinan, in East Shandong, China's Shandong province? And are you, you're excited about this kind of new development, this new kind of invention? And do you have any questions, more doubts about this kind of new invention? Just please feel free to ask questions and give us comments. And if you like our show, please give us thumbs. Thank you very much for joining our program today, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.